What's up, mortgage coach community? So this is the second weekly sales meeting in the mortgage coach community with Coach Jeremy Forcier. So guys, I have been talking for months now how important it is sales meetings are. Like when the market shifts, and guys, it's brutal out there, man. I mean, rates have gone up 2%. No matter who I ask, they're up at least 1.5 points. It's not like there's more inventory. It seems like inventory is even tighter in the marketplace that we have. So realtors' job's tougher, our job's tougher. And here's what I believe. I've been talking to a lot of loan officers, and I've been doing this now for over 20 years. And I literally think that this is the worst sales shape the industry's ever been in. Like it seems like every loan officer forgot how to sell. And it makes sense, man. Look, the fish have been jumping in the boats, and all you had to do is, and I think what's made it even worse now is that there is so much digital experience, like, oh, hey, family, here's a link, and you can take an app in 3 minutes. Well, guys, that worked, when rates are so low, they're in the 2% range. Here's a link, and then you just go and skin a loan. Guys, no, we need to sell. We need to build relationships with people. We need to know what their problems are so we can solve their problems. And so the sales skills are the worst they've ever been in the mortgage industry. So we need to do weekly sales meetings. We need to upgrade those sales skills. So Jeremy, do you agree with me? Like, it's literally like the word, like if there was like a sales shape, like sales fitness, the sales fitness is really bad.
Yes, I do. I agree with you. I think it's maybe the worst shape in memory. Because I like to block out all things painful from the past. So it is the worst in memory for sure. And, I hate to say this, but that makes me excited. I love that it's in the worst shape, which means that I have the most value right now as an originator, as well as a manager, because I'm valuable to everyone again. So it is the worst shape I've seen. I mean, I have originators who I love, who work with me, who've been in the business just as long as me, that are calling me saying like, hey, can we order a new appraisal? This appraisal came in low, right? And this happened yesterday. And it's like, well, is it a good appraisal? Is the first question I ask. What do you think? Is the appraisal just pretty solid appraisal? And I'm like, you guys, this is the shape that Dave's talking about. Like, hey, we got to have conversations about this. This is real. It's not just panic. It didn't come into what someone thought it was going to be. We have to learn how to deal with this stuff. So I feel like we are relearning how to have conflict, right? And how to solve problems and how to be empathetic all at the same time right now.
All right, guys. So Jeremy is going to lead the first 20 minutes of this. I do want to set the table that when we do these mortgage coach sales meetings, there's got to be some loan now strategies. So like, what are some things we can do to get a loan today, tomorrow, this week, because we need loans now. We got to figure out how to pick up market share. How can we turn the challenge and the struggle in the market today into more market share? That means new realtor relationships and more referrals from the realtor relationships we have. And guys, competitive advantage. Like, how do we turn this struggle into a sustainable competitive advantage for my business over time? So for this month, these are called the 4 strategies. We're not going to cover all these in today's call, but how can we convert more and win with rate shoppers? How can we recruit more realtors? Number 3, strategies to close more cash out loans and get more business from your database. And number 4, guys, what are we going to do to help realtors close more, get more listings? One thing I know for sure, guys, alerts is part of the story. Jeremy and I are writing an article together. It's going to be a blog. I'm trying to get my marketing team to post it on the Mortgage Coach page by the end of the week. And it will be like a breakdown of that scripts call where Jeremy went through all of his trigger alert scripts. We're going to have a resource for you. So we broke it down. We transcribed it. We turned it into bite-sized chunks. That'll hit by the end of the week. But with that said, Jeremy, I'm going to hand it off to you to lead the next 20-ish minutes. And let's rock it out. And remember, guys, ask questions, put questions in chat. Jeremy loves questions. This call will not go more than 45 minutes. While we're always going to target 30. Guys, we're going to I don't care what we're talking about. We're going to turn it off at 11:45. So bro, let's roll.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Dave. So how I'd love to open this conversation, which it does stay in alignment with the whole like sales fitness test with us all, is that we're being tested right now because there's so much emotion, right? There's literally so much emotion in the market. People feeling like they lost out on an opportunity when interest rates were low. They're feeling at a disadvantage when they're purchasing right now because prices are still high and they're going to continue to be high for the unforeseeable future, and that they maybe don't want to do something right now. So you're going to get a lot of emotion coming at you constantly. And you have to remember this, it has nothing to do with you. So someone told me this a really long time ago. I think I took it in a bold class, like a Keller Williams class a decade ago. And it went something like, don't put other people's outsides on your insides, right? Or don't put other people's insides on your outsides. Basically, don't own other people's stuff, right? The frustration they're going through, et cetera. You can still listen and be a part of it with the solution though. So if you're getting battered or you feel like people are coming at you and they're crispy, they're edgy, they're disappointed, they're frustrated, I want to share with you a script that works really, really, really well with these people. And I mean it. And that's why it works so well. So every single time someone is really frustrated, or they might sound like they're complaining, which is really just a frustration on their offers, or the interest rate is 2% higher than it was, mine are 2% higher than they were at the beginning of the year, and they're just upset. This is what I say every single time. I listen, number one. Number two is that you have to say this. Listen, I am super empathetic to your situation, right? I am super empathetic to your situation. I'm sure it's super frustrating. It's frustrating for me, so I can't imagine how frustrating it is for you on the consumer side of things. But let's remember, I'm on your side and I'm 100% here to help and control the things we can control and find out solutions to the things that we can't control. And that's my only job, partnering with you. So I've used that script, I don't need countless times over the last 3 weeks, with people that are just feeling crispy and edgy and deflated. We have to acknowledge it, and we do have to have some empathy for them, which my wife is really good at telling me I need to be more empathetic all the time. She's always like, you're good at sympathetic, but empathetic, you got to work on. So I'm working on it. Thanks to you, Kara Forcier. I love you. But simply being empathetic and putting yourself in their shoes. Not to mention that I am buying a house right now too. So I truly feel the pain and that empathy. But just remember, listen, empathetic to the situation that they're going through. Can't imagine how frustrating it is. And then I'm on your side. Let's not forget it. Let's control the things that we can control together. And then let's find solutions to the things that we can't control. I think that's a great way to get into a different mindset of your practice in your day-to-day job when you're interacting with consumers. So that would be one, is changing your mindset. Now, I would love to talk about a few different scenarios on how you can get more loans now, and then how you can help realtor partners close more transactions, okay? So get loans right now. I think there is a huge missed opportunity for people right sizing. So you can call it downsizing, right sizing, retirement purchase, things of that nature. Okay, I think there's a huge missed opportunity right now for individuals to right size into their retirement home forever. Because prices are so high, it's a great time to do that. Now, when I'm speaking with a lot of clients, they're like, yeah, I do want to do that, but prices still seem kind of high to buy, right, or downgrade, right, into another home. And if I put all my money down against the house, I don't know how that's going to support my retirement in the future with the purchase price being so high, even buying down in value. So I'm going to show you, I was working on one literally right when I logged in. So it's not 100% complete, but it's pretty close, and I want to share it with you, okay? So I'm going to share my screen here and walk you through a scenario to show you what I'm talking about. So right now you can go into your database, and if you don't have a big database, you can pull data for people that are looking, that have been in their house for 15 plus years, okay? Those would be great opportunities for people to right size, right? If they've been in the house 10 years plus, even, it's better. But if you can find a good list of people that have been in their house for 15 years or more, those are prime candidates to right size their scenario. So what you're looking at here is an individual that I was talking to earlier, and it was actually talking to their real estate agent, and they were explaining the scenario that their client's in. And I said, hey, I think this could be a great opportunity for them to right size and purchase a new home. So what I'm showing you here in this summary section is their current home value right now is right around $1 million. It'll probably sell for around 1.1 million. They currently owe, and these are estimates per the realtor, about $500,000. They have a 3.25% interest rate on their house right now. Their current mortgage payments are $28.72 and 3 cents per month. Okay, so this is their current situation. They are retired and they're looking to get into their retirement home, or they're thinking about it. But once again, their objections were what I shared earlier. Hey, I don't know, we're still going to be buying like a $650,000, $700,000 house. That seems like a lot. We have pension, but we don't have a lot of additional assets outside of that. And it makes us nervous if we were to do something and put all of our cash into a house. So I started working up this presentation right before we got on here that shows in this first column their current home, right? In the second column, what I'm showing these clients is that they buy a $650,000 home, right? They're going to sell the 3,000 square foot home and they're going to purchase, a 1,900 square foot home. They purchase a new one, and they're going to net about $500,000 from the sale of this property. And so what I showed them here is that, hey, if they just took 300,000 of that for the down payment instead of the full 500, and they got a current interest rate, which yes, at 4.99, I know that is higher than 3.25, but I showed them that their monthly payments are $25.72 and 74 cents. So they would be going down in payment by $300 a month, and they would also have $200,000 extra of cash because they're not using their full amount of proceeds from their house to put down towards the new purchase. Now, the reason why this also works so well is that because they are of retirement age, where we live, they can transfer their property tax base because they've owned this home for a long time. They bought it for $400,000 a long time ago. Okay, so when we go into the more info screen, we can see in the payment breakdown that their property tax is the same, right? That is a really important item to know in your market. Can these people transfer their property tax base? Will it be better for them or will it be worse for them? In this scenario, it shows that it is going to be awesome for them. Now, also what I did is I took a reinvestment strategy, and I don't know if I finished it because I hopped on the call, but what I wanted to show them, right, is that in 15 years, if they take this $200,000 and they don't put it down towards their mortgage payment because they can easily afford the mortgage payment at $2,500 a month, and they invest it and they get an average 7% rate of return, in 15 years, that 200,000 turns into 569,789. So this is a huge benefit for the individual to realize that not only can they lower their monthly payments, they can right size in, save $300 a month, and then also create an additional net worth of about $569,000 over a 15-year time frame. So doing things like this in this market will help you get loans right now. I'm going to send this off to the agent, ask for the introduction to the client. They'll 100% say yes because I've already done some work for them without me ever even talking to them before. Then we can dial in these numbers. Now, that does one of two things for you, okay? Number one, it generates more opportunities for your agent, right? More opportunities for your agent of people that are afraid to list their house right now. Number two is that you are going to get referred so strong because you've done some work for them without them even knowing who you are first, that referral is going to be trusted at a very, very, very high level when you receive it. And then number three, of course, you're giving great advice and using a total cost analysis and showing them how you can make an impact and a difference on their life. So that is one get loan now strategy that I think is being really underutilized by myself as well, by the way. that I'm really going to focus on here over the next months to come. And I think it's a huge opportunity with what has happened in the market. Prices are up, 52% over the last 5 years. Over the last 20 years, they're up 274%. And that's with markets correcting, right? Like even with a gigantic dip in that time frame, that's important for you to know too, is that if you're focusing on people that have owned homes for 15 years, 20 years, their home price has literally gone up 200 and plus percent, no matter what market that you live in. So I think those are really important things to focus on. And that is a great get loan now strategy right now. And I'm happy to share these links with you if you'd like. I'll send them afterwards, or I can post them in the chat. By the way, if you guys have questions, please type them in. Someone interrupt me, and I'm more than happy to go ahead and answer anything that you guys want to know. It could be about anything you want. Now, a second get loan now strategy that I'm seeing as well is, and this is purchase based, okay, is individuals that bought with an FHA loan 2 to 5 years ago. So anywhere from 2 to 5 years, people that purchased with an FHA loan still have that loan in place on a move up strategy. Now, the biggest hurdle that I'm seeing with move up strategies is that oftentimes, they're going to maybe pay significantly more than what they want to pay, what they think they should pay. And that's okay. That's part of the process of going through it, is making them realize, are they going to have to make some sacrifices, or is it something that they can really afford or really want to do? So when you're going to look at move up buyers that were originally first-time home buyers, and this might be their first time moving up, and they're really relying on the equity of their homes, you have to make sure that you go in knowing that they probably are always going to be shocked that the mortgage payment is going to be a lot more. Okay, interest rates are higher, as well as the fact that if they're going to do a significant move up, they are going to have a larger loan amount. I think that is something that is so basic to us, and because we do loans every day, is that yes, it seems like common sense. You borrow more money, your payment is going to be higher. But consumers oftentimes just don't understand, or they don't think that way. When they're investigating this process of like, what does a move up buy look like? They are not thinking that way at all. They are thinking, this is going to be great. I got a bunch of equity in my house. I'm going to buy a better house and my payment is going to be the same. That's what they think. Okay, so when I'm doing a move up strategy, I do it with a few different components, and I'll share my screen and walk you through an example of that I did yesterday as well. So in the example I'm going to show you, number one is that I'm showing them what purchase price they wanted, because they gave me a monthly payment budget, but they also gave me like a purchase price that they're kind of targeting, right? So what I do is I show them the purchase price that they want, and I'm showing them 3 different interest rate options because rates have been moving around all the time. The real reason I'm showing them the 3 different interest rate options is just so they can understand that a 1/4% or a 0.5% in rate movement up or down does not kill their monthly payment budget at all. We want people to continue to get focused on their monthly payment budget. That's a very basic sales fitness skill that I think we've lost. We got so used to, rather than talking about payment, we'd say 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 1/4, 3 3/8, and we started speaking in interest rate terms. And the reality is that we can only control what we can control. And the facts are undeniable that rates are going to be whatever they want at the given time that they are posted. So what I show in this move up analysis is the purchase price they want, 3 different interest rates so they can see how that affects the monthly payment. But I also showed where they wanted to keep their monthly payments and how much less of a house that would be. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and just walk you through it. And of course, if you have questions, please just post away. So this is for the client who is going to sell their house and purchase a new one. So one thing I want you to take away from both of these scenarios I've shared so far is that these are both for people that need to sell a house and purchase a house. That is really important. Don't miss this. Is that if we want to create more inventory for our realtors and more inventory for our buyers, we have to start talking to people about making contingent sales, right? Listing their house contingent upon them finding another house. That has to be a big part of our conversation with our agents and with our consumers, okay? It's up to us to change the rhetoric and the dialogue around what's going to be normal in the purchase market moving forward. And that's how we're going to create some more inventory for our partners. So in this scenario, it's exactly what I just walked you through on the overview. They wanted to be pre-approved to a $550,000 purchase price. So I showed them that here's a $550,000 purchase price, right? 3 different ways. These are all on FHA loans. Now you might be thinking right now, well, why would they do an FHA loan if they're selling their house and they're going to net, approximately $100,000 of equity? I will get into that. Okay. So in the first column, I showed them a $550,000 purchase. If the interest rate happened to be 4.75% when they find the house, that their payments would be $38.63 and 32 cents. Keep in mind their estimated monthly payment budget, they wanted under $2,900 a month. Okay. They're still super qualified for this, but that's where they thought they wanted to keep their monthly payment because they're paying $2,700 a month right now. Okay. So, and they want to come out of pocket with anywhere between 30 to 40,000 total out of pocket. Now, in the second column, I'm showing them that, hey, if the interest rate happened to be 4.99% on the day that you get into contract, your payment would be $39.42. And in the third column at 5.25%, your payment would be $4,028.57. So all I'm really showing you here is that the difference in monthly payments is just about $85 a month per 0.25% interest rate, whether it moves up or down. That way you, the consumer, can budget appropriately. It really just comes down to the payment. And I don't want you to think that because rates are up, or if they continue to go up, that it's going to raise your payment $400 a month. Okay, that's not going to happen in this marketplace right now. Now, in the fourth column, I showed them where they want their payments to be, but what they would have to sacrifice in purchase price, right, in order to do that at a $400,000 purchase with a payment of $28.94 and 24 cents with just under $30,000 cash to close. Now, in the video, right, that I did for them, what I explained to them is that one thing you have to take into consideration is why you are moving. Okay, you want to move because you want to be out of the condo situation and you want to get into a single family home with a little bit more space. So that's going to cost a little bit more money. But what I did on the back end was I saw that you guys have $42,000 of debt between cars, student loans, and credit card debts. When I added up those monthly payments, it came out to $1,000 a month. Okay, so follow me here. I explained to them that, hey, if we just took the $550 purchase price option at 4.99, for example, $39.42 and 8 cents, if we take 40,000 of your 100,000 that you're going to net, we can pay off those debts. And now you've eliminated $1,000 a month in monthly payments. Now your only payment is going to be your mortgage, right? Basically, it's the same thing as having a $2,900 a month mortgage payment. And you're still going to have $30,000 left over as cash reserves for an emergency fund, so that if something does pop up, we don't have to go back into debt again. And that's how I'm going to show you how to build wealth and not accumulate debt, but keep accumulating assets that are going to grow. So that is an excellent way and an excellent script and example of how to get a loan now as well with someone who needs to sell their current property to really make things work. So I'm going to break this down into steps. Number one, you have to listen to what they want to do, okay? And what they want to do is going to come in 2 different forms. It's always going to come in what they want their monthly payment. So ask them, what do you want your monthly payment target to be on your new purchase? And then it's always going to come in a purchase price range that they have identified. Okay, so you want to identify those 2 things. Step 2, show them options on here's where your exact payment range is. This is what you're looking at. Here is your purchase price range and what your monthly payments will be on where you want your purchase price to be. Show them the gap. Step 3, find ways that you can close the gap. Find ways that you can close the gap, meaning do they have additional debt, right? So it didn't make sense for these people to put down an additional $40,000 for down payment because that wouldn't have saved them $1,000 in a monthly payment. But I found an opportunity to say, if we pay off these debts, that eliminates that $1,000, and net you're going to be paying the same as you were right now. And I want to set you up for financial wealth building over time. So we want to hold back those other funds for emergency fund and reinvestment into different opportunities, whether that be financial planning, purchasing another property in a few years, whatever that may be. We want to leave some cash back to give you flexibility, not go into debt, and take advantage of other investment opportunities. And then, of course, finally, number 5 is that this creates powerful listing dialogue with the agent. Okay, so the agent already responded to this email that I included her on yesterday and said, hey, Jeremy, thank you. This is so great. You know, Terry and Alyssa, I think that we should all just hop on a Zoom call and talk about this. We want you to be comfortable with the monthly payments, but I think we should go over the overall goals. She basically is reiterating what I said. She watched the video, she responded, and then now we can have a super constructive meeting about how to move forward. So I don't want you guys to miss that. I think it's a really big opportunity right now. And we just need to figure out ways to create more listings on the market. And if they have to be contingent, fine, then they have to be contingent. Let's show people how they can accomplish their goals, be patient, make contingent offers, and then go from there. Let me see if there's any questions here before I keep moving on. All right, so let's see here. We got, what's up, brother? Happy Tuesday. Hey, how's it going? Pretty new to the industry. What's the best way or best ways for newbies to acquire new agents and get loan apps ASAP? So what you were asking here, Casey, is how do I plant tomatoes and how do I plant apple trees? Okay, so we are farmers. That's how I look at our industry and relationship building. So tomatoes would be things that you're going to plant the seeds, and tomato plants grow fruit. They bear fruit in 90 days. So that would be fast, right? So you're going to plant tomato seeds, and then apple seeds you're going to plant. They're going to take longer. They could take 7 years like to bear fruit. So when we're focusing on planting tomatoes, number 1 is that I would make a list, pretend you're going to get married, whether you're married or not, pretend you're going to get married. And I would make a list of every single person you would invite. I'm talking friends, family, acquaintances, just people that you think are cool, that you would want to be in a relationship with. Make a gigantic list, like if you had a wedding with no budget limitations, and I would start calling all of those people and asking them if you can do an annual mortgage review for them. Okay, I would 100% start doing that. That will create opportunities. Now, within those conversations, I would ask every single one of those people that, hey, when you think of real estate or great realtors, who are the first 3 people that come to your mind? Okay, some of them might say none. Some of them might give you 3. Most of them will give you at least 1. And then you're going to ask them, how do you know them? And could you make an introduction? I would love to meet with them. That way you can use what's called the triangle of trust. You can use an individual who already may have a relationship or at least a warm introduction to an agent. And then that agent will want to meet with you because they also want to look good in the eyes of the person that said they were great. So that would be a really, really easy way to get appointments with agents right now, whether you're brand new in the business or you've been in the business for 30 years. Okay. Now, when you meet with those people, use these strategies that I'm showing you right now. Create some of these yourself, copy mine, go through them with them and let them know that these are some great strategies they could be focusing on right now to create more inventory, which will create more buyer activity for them, as well as get them listings from a marketing perspective. So I think those are 2 really easy ways to go about that. Next one is, let's see, where we can access Tuesday recordings. I will let Mortgage Coach answer that. Let's see, great info so far. Thank you. I super appreciate it, CJ. Right on, you're very welcome. All right, let's see. I have 24 agents that I've met with, and I try to give them a call every week. So first of all, let's eliminate try. You feel me? Let's call them every week, okay? So that's number 1. Try to give them a call every week, but I'm struggling with what to say that isn't repetitive and ideally motivates them to recommend me. This is a great question, okay? And I believe I'm gonna pronounce your name Gianni correctly. So this is a great question. We all are going to go through funks, and sometimes it feels weird when we're making calls and we feel like we're making deposits, but we're not making any withdrawals, right? Like from the relationship, and we feel like we're treading water. So what I would highly recommend is that you figure out about what you're going to call about for the day. So have a theme when you're making your calls. It's pretty simple. And if you want, what I will do is I will send you an example of like a 10-week follow-up program that I just created. It's literally right here. Okay. So 10-week follow-up program. So it's super simple. It's in an Excel sheet, and it would be like week 1 phone call about inventory, how they can create inventory. Week 2 would be a video to them about how you're helping people get into contract right now. Week 3 would be a small gift. So I put a book on here. Week 4 would be a flyer provided by your company. We're going to mail them a flyer on a new product or something like that. Week 5 would be a handwritten note from you. Week 6 would be another phone call. Week 7 would be a new video for you about an evidence of success that has happened in your business over the last month. Week 8 is send them a cookie or a brownie. Week 9, a number flyer, and week 10, a testimonial. So I can send this to you as well. I will, anything that is requested or that I'm saying on this, I'll have Mortgage Coach follow up with me and I'll just provide it for you. But you do have to be excited when you're calling. I know it's not always easy. So if you want to dumb it down and make it super simple, you can talk about number 1, a product. Okay. Number 2, ask them where they're having issues in their business, any transactions or people that aren't pre-approved, etc. Number 3, you can call and invite them to something. So host a happy hour, a lunch and learn, whatever it may be, some type of event. If you ever want a really easy way to throw an event, if you just Google events in, and then wherever you live, a whole bunch of stuff will come up that you don't have to create your own event, like a chili cook-off, for example. And you can call people and say, hey, we're doing this appreciation event. We're going to get a bunch of my clients and referral partners and people I like to go to the chili cook-off. It's on me, meet me at the park at 10 a.m., whatever it may be, and I will have all the tickets. Would you like to come? You can get like groups of 5 to 10 people to meet with you at an event that is already created, that you don't have to create, and it's really, really cheap from a monetary perspective. And then you could always ask for an appointment, right? Hey, I would love to get to know more about your business. And don't be afraid to ask for the referral. Just don't be. Is there anyone that I can help you with today? Right? Who are you working with right now that you think could use a second opinion, or that you're not getting good communication from? Don't be afraid to ask for the referral. I think it's really, really important. So you do have to be excited. Keep it simple. I'll send you the list of kind of like this 10-week follow-up system that I just created for new realtors that I want to engage with, and let me know how it goes. Okay. Very cool. Let's see any other ones. Great. That's it. So keep asking questions, you guys. If you have questions, we got about 10 more minutes. And then we'll cut it off. So the more questions, the better. I want to be helpful to you. So another way to help realtors, right, get more buyers and or listings right now is this one just happened this morning, is a VA. Okay. So I think VA move up buyers is huge right now. The reason why VA move up buyers are huge, and this is a theory that I'm going to put into practice, and I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so this morning I partnered up with a agent, right, who is purchasing 1,000 farm of people that have VA loans in the county with phone numbers. I don't even know how they get all that stuff, but they are, and we're splitting it. It's like $150 each, right? Really, really, really reasonable. And we're going to do a mailer to all of these VA homeowners on, why they should look at moving up right now. And the reason why we're targeting VA move up is that, number one, most VA loans put no money to little money down. So they're already used to carrying a quote unquote higher monthly payment. Okay, they're already used to carrying a higher monthly payment. Number 2 is that they won't have any issues because there's no VA loan limits. They won't have any issues moving up into a higher price point from a qualification standpoint. So, they don't need 12 months reserves or 24 months reserves, like if you were doing a jumbo loan. And they can take their equity and either decide that they want to use that equity to purchase a new home and keep their payments a little bit lower, or to literally take that equity and potentially do 100% financing again and get that or their exemption, tax exemption from capital gains tax, and reinvest it into something else. So this is something I'm working on right now. I think it's a huge, huge opportunity. So look in your database of individuals that have done VA loans with you forever, like over the last 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, whatever it is. But I think VA move up buyers are going to be huge. Now, when you have a bunch of VA home buyers that are going to list houses for sale, they're also going to be more open and likely to accepting, guess what type of loans? VA loans. So that way we don't get this unintended consequence discrimination that happens a lot of times with people selling their house and looking at the deal going, it's VA. Like, I don't know, VA I heard is really hard. I heard it costs me more, that they can't close as fast, and that I'm gonna have to fix a bunch of stuff. These are myths that sellers have. And Sean Herrero, shout out to Sean Herrero, does a really good job, by the way. Check him out on Instagram if you guys don't follow him, of really breaking down simply why a VA loan is the same as a conventional loan or any other loan. And he taught me, I've been watching his stuff and I use a lot of what he says now in how I format it. But if you create a bunch of VA listings, they're going to use a VA loan on a purchase. They're also going to be more likely to look at VA or FHA and just be more objective on the offers that come in as well, because they've personally experienced success with it. So that's another really easy way to create a buyer and a seller, both for yourself and your realtor partners, knowing that they're used to paying higher monthly payments for the most part. They usually don't have any type of equity experience for the most part, generally speaking, once again. So you can create a whole new world of opportunities for them that they have never thought about. Sell your house, buy a new one, still afford it, have a bunch of cash, put that in the bank, assess the next step in your wealth building. So that's what I had for you guys here today for the sales call. I hope it was beneficial to you. I don't know if there's any other questions. I would love to answer them if there are. Let's see, here we go. What do we have to do to get that follow-up system? I will just give it to you. So I'm going to write down multiple follow-up systems. Okay, so one is the first 10 weeks. Okay, first 10 weeks. Okay, follow-up system. That would be for agents. Okay, first 10 weeks when you're prospecting like an agent list group of here's what you do. Happy to send it. It's not a problem at all. Second thing I'm going to send is my personal lead follow-up system, meaning what happens when a lead comes in, whether it's a referral, whether it's from online, whether you generated it, whatever. How does it go into my system? And when do we follow up? Because this is our system. Lead comes in, we put it on a lead tracker form. It's separate from our CRM, and we put it in our CRM. That person gets a call, email, and text every other day for a week. That means 9 reach outs within a 7-day period, assuming they haven't got back to us. They haven't interacted, right? Like I wouldn't text them or call them 9 times if after the first one they booked an appointment. But we follow up basically 9 times in a 7-day period to book an appointment. If they still haven't engaged with us, okay, then we go to 1 time a week for 5 weeks after that. If they still haven't engaged after that, then we go to 1 time a month for a year. So I can give you a full 1-year follow-up system that will keep it easy. And the key to follow-up systems, by the way, is not having to remember like what you're going to do all the time. I got to call that lead again. I got to call that lead again. It's just putting it into a workflow so that you don't have to think about who you have to call. You just know because it's on your task list. 2 days out from the last time that you made a call, that's day 3, call again. It's really, really simple if you make it simple. Okay, so I'll send that to you guys as well. It'll also have the color-coded chart of the legend on how we track our leads and what the colors mean. So for example, if it's white still, that just means we haven't made contact at all. If it's bold name, that means that we have made contact and I had an appointment, but they haven't filled out a loan application yet. If it is yellow, that means it is pre-qualified or pre-approved. If it is green, that means it's a live deal, either in contract or a refinance that we're disclosing. And then if it's red, that means dead, just can't help them right now. they decided to use a different lender, or the interest rates just didn't make sense on the refinance, or they need to do credit repair for 6 months. So I'll give you the full legend as well and the lead follow-up system for those, and hopefully that will be beneficial to you. All right, let's see, we got more questions. I like it. Let's see here, one more question if we can fit it in. Can you send a list of strategies you show real estate agents when you use the 3 extra transactions line on the cold calls? I have a couple I am going to use, but I'd love to see more. So this one's a little bit more tricky, and I'll tell you why. I'm happy to give you anything, but context and knowing what you're talking about is extremely important. So when I'm doing these things, there's not like a canned list. It's me listening to what their issues and challenges are, and then knowing where to coach and direct them on how I can help them. So All About You form is one of them on how to create CCRs, how we use our All About You form with our current clients and leads that we don't even have in contract yet, to learn more about them, give them something personal to be in deeper relationship, and ask for a referral. That's one example on how they can create extra transactions. A second example on how they can create extra transactions would be simply doing their Tuesday update calls. As a realtor, we teach agents as well that, hey, you should be calling, and we don't care if it's Tuesday, by the way. Tell your clients you do Monday update calls, or you do Tuesday update calls, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever it is, but have a day where you're calling anyone that you have in contract, whether listing or buying side, with an update of exactly where you're at, what the next milestone step is, and if you're tracking an on-time close or not, right? That's a really easy way, once again, to show professionalism, be in touch with the client, and then always ask them, hey, how are we doing so far? And how are you feeling? If they say they're feeling great, etc., that's the perfect time to ask for a referral. We teach them how to do that. So those are just some simple examples of what we go to when we're having these conversations with agents on how to generate extra transactions per year. It's usually from stuff they already have. They just don't realize it. Okay, they just don't realize it. We got some more messages here. Let me scroll down. Cool. Live in Oceanside, huge military area, Navy vet. Thank you for your service. To create leads, clients, would you create a list of everyone I know be best to generate new business, VA wise as well? Absolutely. Yeah, don't overthink it, right? Just create the list, bomb through it. I mean, that's really what I would do. Create the list, bomb through it, ask them for introductions. It sounds like you have a big network of military-based sphere of influence anyway, right? Utilize that to your advantage. I'm not a veteran, but I love everyone who has served our country, and I'm so grateful for your service and everyone's service. Use that to your advantage, right? You are a serviceman, man or woman. Like you can use that as a competitive advantage in the marketplace. So I absolutely would start with that. All right, another question is, if you're calling a past client database and you see they've refinanced with another lender already, by the way, it happens to me all the time. Straight up. I know a lot of times I get on here and maybe some of you think like, oh gosh, man, he just closes all his loans, he refis all his clients. No way. I mean, I have thousands and thousands of past clients, and guess what? I didn't do 1,000 loans in 2020 or 2022. So I lose them all the time too. So the question is, do you still call them? 100%. Okay, 100%. Let me give you a great example. There's an individual named Maurice who called me last week, right? And he wanted to know if it made sense to refinance right now. Now, what's funny is that when I went and looked him up in my database, I was like, well, we only pre-approved him. We never closed the loan. So of course I was irritated for 18 seconds, but I made the appointment with him anyway. I walked him through, I asked him, hey, congratulations on your purchase. I know we didn't help you with it. I wish we would have, but I'm honored to help you right now. Went through the whole scenario with him. Now, it ended up that it didn't make sense for him to do anything, right? I said, you really only want to refinance if you're going to reduce your term, or if you need cash out for something specific. Otherwise, your rate's awesome. I wouldn't do anything, right? You're not really going to save money. He was very, very appreciative of it. I asked him if I could add him to my closed client monthly email list. I use HomeBot. Okay, he said, absolutely. I got to put him into HomeBot, and now I have permission for the future, right, that he could reach out to me and I have an opportunity to stay in better touch. So don't worry if you lose loans or you see that someone refied. We're always going to lose people. I mean, if I was 1,000%, I would have retired 10 years ago, right? On repeat customers. It just doesn't work that way, but still be open to being in the relationship with them, right? Still be open to being in the relationship with them. I think that's really, really important. So excellent, excellent question. By the way, I love all these questions. You guys are crushing it. Let's see. Any
Remember
CRM
that
you
Facebook audience, if you've got questions, put them down below. We want to hear it. We know people appreciate it. And Deborah is putting some nice comments out there. Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah, so CRM recommendation. I stopped recommending CRMs. I'll tell you what I use, and here's why I stopped recommending them. Because every CRM works that you use. Okay, so that's the one I would recommend the most. So if you are going to use a daily planner, then make that your CRM. If you're going to use Salesforce like I do, I use Jungo, which I love and I think it's the best, but it's just because I use it every day, right? There's a million different options, but just pick something that you know you're going to use, that you want to make it simple. You don't want it to be super complicated, that you're going to have a place where all of your clients are stored and that you have data that you can keep on them so you can reference it back in the future. Okay, that would be my best recommendation on that.
I'd like to make a minor edit to Jeremy's suggestion. I agree that the CRM you use is the best, but it also has to be one that integrates with Mortgage Coach, which Jungo does. But if you want to be an advisor to where your advice is a competitive advantage, you want to make sure all your technology integrates with your advice platform. And if you're watching this and it's a Mortgage Coach channel, make sure you have a CRM that integrates, and then make sure you know how to use it. Remember, every little hack matters. You know, use your team appropriately, use the features of your technology appropriately. So little add-on to Jeremy's answer.
Awesome. And yes, I'm always looking to grow other people. So if you guys ever want to have a conversation, just hit me up. Absolutely. But I feel really good about what I shared today, Dave. Gave people three really solid tactics on how to get loans now, some stuff that I am experimenting with and doing. So I don't know if you have any questions, or if anyone else has any more, I'm happy to stay on for a few more minutes. We're at the 45-minute mark. So totally up to you.
Yeah, no, I think I want to wrap these on schedule, on time. You know, I just push every manager, have a sales meeting. There's actually a video of me interviewing a branch manager, Chantry Abbott, and he's doing a weekly meeting. He's using the Mortgage Coach Facebook group and YouTube channel as a resource. And listen to that. If you're a branch manager, listen to these interviews that I'm doing, which are these sales meetings that Jeremy and I are doing. And then, guys, if you're a branch manager and you are a black belt or more at Mortgage Coach and you're doing this, I want to interview you. So guys, we are going to wrap this up, but thank you for your time and attention. Jeremy, any closing thoughts before we wrap it?
Don't overthink it. Remember that you want to find strategies that are not only going to help your clients, but they're going to increase listing opportunities for agents. Those are really the two thoughts that I have on almost everything I'm doing right now. How do I increase inventory? How do I help agents increase inventory? Because it's a big problem. And how do I make a difference in the clients that need to sell?
All right, guys, this call is a wrap. We'll see you next Tuesday, 11 o'clock. Let us know if you have ideas, questions. Have a good one. And thank you, Jeremy. Later, bro.
See you later. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.